Welcome everyone to another video, and I think what we have here for you today is the Apple HomePod. Just arrived. Don't normally do unboxing videos, but it comes in a box, so I thought, here it is, let's take it out. When I say it comes in a box, I've basically removed this larger box covering blah 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 blah, typical Apple box, from this thing here that it sits in, only because it's a bit of a pain actually to get out of there. You've got to give it a bit of a wiggle. Anyway, box, whatever, lead, whatever. So I tell you what, let's just plug it in and see what happens. Okay. Hello. Right, well here we are, and I've cleared the boxes away. It actually turns out that this is the first ever Apple device I've had where setting up is not completely intuitive, so nothing's happening at all. Can I ask, first of all, if you find this vaguely useful, could you please hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up? Both those two things really make a difference. Taking out the instructions, it tells me I need to actually get an iOS device with the latest iOS on it, turn Bluetooth on, stick it near, and see what happens. Well, all right, then let's do that. So here we have an Apple iPad, nice and big so you can see it. We'll put on Bluetooth, stick it near. We're holding it near. Okay, not a whole lot's happening straight away. Oh, wait, so we get a prompt to do something. Okay. Well, it's then asking us about Siri, terms and conditions. And there we have, hopefully, a setup HomePod.
Hi, I'm Siri. Welcome to HomePod. You can't tell, but I'm waving. To get my attention, say hey Siri. Let's try it. Say hey Siri, what can you do?
So here we are then, let's set off. Hey Siri, what can you do?
I can do lots of things, like turn on the lights, give you a news update, and tell you about the weather. Now you try. Say hey Siri, play some music.
Now I think she's got an Australian accent because, well, I'm not sure. One of my devices has obviously got an Australian accent and she's picked that up. Hey Siri, what's in the news?
Here's the latest news from the BBC. Or if you prefer, say hey Siri, switch to Sky News or switch to LBC instead.
The latest BBC News update.
Hey Siri,
from Radio
stop.
5 Live.
Okay, so she would give us that. Hey Siri, play some Shawaddy Waddy.
Okay, here's some show Adderwoody, picked just for you.
Hey Siri, stop. Hey Siri, what's the weather like in London?
It's currently cloudy and 5 degrees in London, England. Expect mostly clear skies starting in the afternoon. Temperatures are heading down from 5 degrees this afternoon to 2 tonight. My weather data is provided by the Weather Channel.
Hey Siri, tell me a joke.
The past, present and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
Hey Siri, are you any better than Alexa?
Let's talk about you, not me.
I don't know that one.
Alexa, say hello to Siri.
Hi there.
So I've taken the liberty of bringing Alexa along to join us. Alexa, say hello.
Hi there.
Hey Siri, say hello.
Okay, hello.
Don't be too enthusiastic about it, will you? Just for comparison's sake then. Alexa, play some Shawaddy Waddy.
Shuffling songs by Shawaddy Waddy.
Pretty little angel lies. Pretty little angel
Alexa,
lies.
stop. Can't go wrong with a bit of Shawaddy Waddy, can you? Alexa, tell me a joke.
What do you get when you cross a pig and a centipede? Bacon and legs.
Yeah. So essentially, there's a huge difference in price straight off. Phenomenal difference in price, of course. This is being sold as a much better speaker. I can't really demonstrate that to you on here. I mean, they both go relatively loud. In terms of the quality, I wouldn't have said it's completely super. Hey Siri, can I install apps on you?
I can't open apps here. Sorry about that.
Hey Siri, put my lights on.
Got it.
Hey Siri, turn my lights off.
Done.
Oh, that actually worked. Alexa, turn my lights on.
I found several devices matching that name. Which one did you want?
Hey Siri, set the hallway temperature to 17 degrees.
I can't do that with HomeKit because I'm not sure what you mean by hallway.
Alexa, set the hallway temperature to 17 degrees.
The heat's set to 17.
Alexa, what's the definition of joyful?
Joyful has a couple of uses. As an adjective, 1. Full of or producing joy.
Alexa,
2.
stop. Hey Siri, what's the definition of joyful?
Joyful means feeling, expressing, or causing great pleasure and happiness.
On my face, a
So you can see how you turn the volume up and down.
little
Pause, resume, track forward,
down the street.
track back. Oh, okay. And then I think Siri to get it activated. Oh, and then you talk, hello Siri,
I can't find the answer to that on HomePod.
as opposed to you can press to talk. Hello Alexa. So Alexa does have a push to talk button and also a silence button. The HomePod, you can push to talk. You basically hold your finger on there. This has a mute button. Hey Siri, mute.
Okay, I changed it.
Hey Siri, how are you?
I'm having the time of my life,
Well,
and I owe it all to you.
nobody puts baby in a corner, am I right? Alexa, how are you?
I'm doing great. Did you know cats sometimes talk to me?
Funny. So it's really hard to, I mean, it's not hard really, because this is basically Siri, which we all know, and the volume increase is a little bit irritating because you've got to find there's no plus and minus there until you kind of activate itself, and then it's just not. This is quite simple. You just turn that up or you turn that down and the volume goes up or down. So from that point of view, control is a little bit easier. I've tested both from across the room and there's no significant difference in the ability of this to hear me over the ability of this to hear me. What I've not done is test that in slightly noisier environments. That might be a situation where this has more to offer than this. I don't know. Alexa, give me a recipe for pancakes.
The skill Recipedia can help you with that. Did you want to enable it?
Yes.
Okay. How about lemon pancakes from Recipedia? This recipe takes 10 minutes to prep.
Alexa,
and 20
stop.
minutes-
Hey Siri, give me a recipe for pancakes.
I can't find the answer to that on HomePod.
Hey Siri, what films are playing at the moment?
Here are some films playing at cinemas now, but they are a bit far from you. Maze Runner, The Death Cure, The Greatest Showman, Darkest Hour, Coco, Early Man. Do you want to hear the next 5 films?
No. Alexa, what films are playing now?
Here are a few films playing near Cardiff today. 50 Shades Freed, Early Man, Coco, The Greatest Showman, Darkest Tower.
Alexa,
and
stop.
Maze Ru-
Alexa, where's the nearest Indian restaurant?
Here are a few nearby popular Indian restaurants. Jiboraj Lakeside, Jubaraj Indian Restaurant.
Alexa,
Nigerian Spice-
stop. She's absolutely right. That's gorgeous. Hey Siri, where's the nearest Indian restaurant?
The closest one I found is Lakeside Deli Cuisine on Clearwater Way in Cardiff.
Alexa, how far away is the moon?
The moon's distance is 239,000 miles, 384,000 kilometers.
Hey Siri, how far away is the moon?
The distance from the Earth to the Moon is about 250,785 miles.
Well, one of you's got that wrong. If you want to configure your HomePod, you do it via Apple's Home app. Now that wasn't abundantly obvious to me. Maybe I'm not that bright, I don't know. But you find your HomePod in your app. If you tap the icon that you see in front of you, you'll start or stop music that's playing. If you hold on to it, it goes into settings. You can either set multiple alarms, noting you can only actually set one timer at any one time. So for you cooks with multiple timers, you might have difficulties. But if you click defaults, you then go in and you're able to change various settings, including things like, as well as listening for the Hey Siri, the light, a few other bits and bobs, and that gets you down, of course, to things like the serial number. And you also have an option in this section to disassociate your device. Right, so I've lived with both of these bits of kit for an afternoon now, and it's into the evening, and I've played with them quite considerably, trying to compare them against each other, and here's my conclusion. Can I ask, first of all, if you find this vaguely useful, could you please hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up? Both those two things really make a difference. All right, so we've had our fun, and let's get down to brass tacks then. Is it worth the money? Is it worth considerably more money than one of these, or for example, the Google Home? That depends on whether you really want an excellent speaker for your home. It is an excellent speaker. If I'm honest, I'm not an audiophile, and at maximum volume, these two are both about as loud as each other. If anything, the Apple HomePod is more bassy, yet more clarity in the music. I have to say for myself, it's not a difference that I would pay an awful lot of money for. There are other distinguishing factors. This will only play music from Apple Music. This will of course play Spotify, and you can set Spotify as your main account with the Echo device. It's just Apple Music with the Apple device. Hey Siri, add a calendar event.
I'm sorry, I can't access your calendar here.
Whereas Alexa can. Hey Siri, read my messages.
You can turn personal requests on or off in the Home app associated with this HomePod.
Well, it turns out that there isn't a feature in my Home app, and I've got the latest version of iOS on the day of release on my iPhone, but that doesn't matter too much because if that is enabled, I understand anybody in the room can then read your texts if your phone is connected to your Wi-Fi. Then there's the Bluetooth disadvantage. The Amazon device can be used as a Bluetooth speaker fairly simply by any device. The Apple cannot be used as a Bluetooth speaker at all. It just sits there to play Apple Music. There are no apps yet for the Apple device. Of course, you can buy things via the Amazon device. You can't buy anything via the Apple device. There's a toss-up as to whether Siri is as good as Alexa when it comes to answering basic questions, and really that's a matter of personal preference. With respect to HomeKit and HomeKit connected devices, I have to say I'm finding it easier to operate them with the Echo device than I am with the Apple device, which is a little bit ironic. I was surprised and somewhat disappointed that the Apple device seemed on the face of it to be harder to configure and set up than the Amazon device. It isn't as intuitive, it isn't as quick to use, it doesn't have any turny dials like that to turn volume up and down, and I recognise it's very early days, at least at the making of this video on launch day, it's very early days for the Apple device, and features and functionality may well improve because they're just software enabled. After all, the hardware is almost certainly much superior in terms of the spec of the speakers and the microphones included. Is it worth that much more? Would you pay essentially 3 to 4 times the amount that an Amazon speaker might cost you? I think that's only viable if you're desperate for excellent audio, you can really tell the difference, and you're happy to forego some of the additional features that this forgoes over other compatibly priced speakers in exchange for having Siri attached. In fairness, the thing we use our Amazon device for mostly is playing music. I also have a Sonos kit, and again, the ability to use a Spotify account across all those pieces of equipment is significant. It's set up through your iPhone or an iOS device in a similar way that the AirPods are, and that's quite neat and quite snazzy, but you only ever do that the once during your whole period of ownership, right? And another thing I can do, of course, with Alexa is make calls, not using a telephone, but using Alexa to Alexa calls and receive calls, and that's actually very, very useful. So for example, with one of my children at university, we put the Amazon device in the middle of the kitchen table and frequently have long conversations while the rest of the family are having a meal. That's a great feature. Another benefit of the app with the Amazon Echoes, etc., is that you can see what next track is coming up, and you can see your history, and you can use that to skip backwards and forwards in the tracks, etc. Plus you can increase and decrease the volume from the app, and so much more. I tell you what is a bit neat though, if you turn the Apple HomePod right up to full volume as soon as you've got it, it actually pumps out some Apple air into your room, and you can smell it quite definitely. I suppose another cool thing is the tap control. You haven't got that on the Amazon device. You've really got to speak to start, stop, go forward or back a track, unless of course you've got the separate remote control. On the Apple HomePod, however, you can double, triple tap to skip forward, skip back tracks, and tap to pause and resume, and that's quite good. It's a shame, however, that you can't use the Apple remote to control the HomePod, but who knows, maybe that'll come. Let's see if I can get you a bit of a closer look at this device in terms of the construction. It's a nice soft material. You can see bottom, you've got yourself a nice Apple logo there. And how close can I get for you? Probably about as close as we're going to get, isn't it really? There you go. But it is, if you can see, kind of foamy. Going to require de-dusting, isn't it? And in terms of look and feel, well, HomePod wins that one hands down, I'm afraid. Although I have to say the light on the top is a bit Google Home-esque. Interestingly, it has quite almost a squidgy sponge-like texture to it. I don't want to squeeze it too hard, but your fingers can definitely indent as you pick it up. If you'll be buying a HomePod, or if you've got any additional questions, let me know down below. If I've missed anything significant, let me know in the description down below, and I'll do my best to answer it. So until next time, thanks for watching.